What is a land tax sale? Well, my friend, you are in the right place because this is attorney Bob Diamond. I've been buying at tax sales and helping people buying at tax sales for many years. And I'm here to give you the lowdown on what is a tax land sale. And be sure to stay till the very end because there I have something really special for you. I'm going to show you a second way that you probably have never heard of to make money at tax sales where you don't even have to buy the property and you can make more money than the people that buy them. So let's get right into it. So a land tax sale is where a property is sold because someone didn't pay their real estate taxes. And in most places, if you don't pay your taxes for between 3 and 4 years, then the county is going to sell your property to collect that tax money. And when they sell the property, they just sell it to the high bidder. So it's a public auction. People go, they raise their hand, and whoever the highest bidder is gets the property. And the opening bid is only the amount of the past due taxes. So if you have 3 to 4 years worth of taxes, especially on land, it's not going to be a whole lot of money. It's actually a very small amount of money. So on average, taxes are about 2% of the property value per year. So if you had some land, let's say it was worth $50,000, your taxes on that land are going to be about $1,000 a year. And if you get 4 years behind, well, you're going to owe $4,000. Even if we add in interest and penalties and say double that amount, then you owe $8,000 on a property worth $50,000. And that's where the opening bid would start at. So the opening bid would be $8,000. And if you were the only one there bidding, then you would get that property for $8,000. And obviously you could easily, quickly flip that property and make a big profit. And matter of fact, there's some people that make a nice business out of that where they will buy properties for say, $8,000 or $10,000 that are worth 50, and they'll sell it on terms, meaning they'll sell it where someone makes payment. Maybe they pay the $50,000, but they do payments each month. Maybe it's $500 a month for 10 years. And when you do that, you make really nice cash flow. That's a really great business. And of course, at these tax sales, they don't separate land tax sales from other tax sales. So you'll find properties that are already built, houses, commercial buildings, industrial buildings. You'll find all kinds of things. So when you're getting ready for tax sale, be ready for some really interesting properties to purchase. And often these properties go up for tax sale because the person passed away that owned the property. The family doesn't keep up with the taxes and the property ends up being sold for the taxes. And they can be really good deals for investors. Tax sales are definitely the bargain basement of real estate. And so you can get some great deals and definitely something worth checking out. Now, there's a lot to know before you go buying a tax sale. That I will tell you for sure. And this is not like buying through a realtor. There are no open houses. There's no guarantees of any kind. These properties can be in great condition. They can be in poor condition. Of course, with land, generally condition isn't a big deal. Although I would say you want to avoid commercial properties completely. You do not want to have a commercial property because if you do, that could have environmental pollution and you're responsible for cleaning it up. And you certainly do not want to be in that position. I know some folks that bought a property in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and they bought an old paint factory. And as soon as they bought the factory, they received a letter from the EPA saying, hey, you've got some open vats of industrial chemicals and you have to get those cleaned up. And they got a price on it. It was $400,000 to cart those chemicals away. So they decided not to pay that money and not to do the work. And they ended up in litigation with the EPA because you're responsible as the property owner for that pollution. Doesn't matter if you did the pollution or not, just matters the pollution is there. So one big takeaway is do not buy commercial properties at tax sales because you don't have a chance to do the due diligence that you really need to do. So don't do that. And definitely if you're going to be buying at tax sales, make sure you get yourself educated. There's some people doing excellent education on this topic, and you just really need to make sure that you get educated because there can be title issues. There can also be things called rights of redemption. Now, right of redemption is where someone who loses their property at tax sale has a certain amount of time to pay the taxes and keep that property. And for example, in the state of Georgia, good example, they have a 1-year right of redemption. So for 1 year after the tax sale, the person can come, catch up on the taxes, and keep the property. Now, as the bidder, you'll make a lot of money on that. You'll get actually 20% more than you bid. So if you bid, $10,000, you're going to get $12,000 back. So it's actually not a bad deal for you as the owner. But you do have to understand during that 1-year right of redemption, you can't even set foot on that property. You can't fix it up, you can't sell it, you can't refinance it, you can't do anything with it. So you need to make sure that you're aware of these things. And these are all state by state laws. So make sure that you become aware of it. And at the end, I'll give you a reference to a gentleman that I know, a good friend who does tax sales, teaches tax sales, and has been doing it since the 1990s. So has a lot of deep experience, and I'll give you a reference to him. Matter of fact, I'll do it now. If you look down in the link below, there's a reference to an intro with Tony, or my interview with Tony. Just go click on that. It's a free YouTube video. I spend maybe 20 minutes talking to Tony about what he does and how he does it. He has a really interesting way of buying at these tax sales. He teaches you everything you need to know. Really good guy. Totally free here on YouTube, so you can go check that out. The second thing is I promised I'd give you something new and innovative, and I'm going to give you that. I do a business in tax sale called Overages. And what overages is when the property sells for more than the taxes that are due, which is very, very common, then that extra money is available to be claimed by the former owner. That might seem odd. You think, how could that happen? So let's say we're talking about the land. So the land's worth $50,000, and let's say that you're there bidding, and let's say you pay 70% of retail for it. So you pay $35,000 for it, which would be a really reasonable price, right? To do that. So if you did that, they owe $8,000 in taxes. And if the property sells for $35,000, that means there's $27,000 that's left over for the former owner. And it's just the difference between the taxes that are owed and the amount that it sells for. So if it's a $10,000 sale price and $2,000 in taxes, there's $8,000 left over. If it's a piece of real estate, like with a house, often they sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Typically they sell for between 70 and 80% of their as-is value. So you could easily have a $400,000 house that sells for $250,000 to $300,000. Very common. And that person would probably only owe $50,000 or $60,000 worth of taxes, and there's a big spread. So we get lists of these monies that are sitting out there. We reach out to the folks and we let them know that there's some money that they're eligible to claim. We're not telling them where the money is. We're telling them we do that as a business. And if they'd like to work with us, we're happy to do it for a percentage of what we recover. Really nice business. We help people get back money they otherwise never would have gotten. And we make a fee on each case that we're successful. And you don't need to be an attorney to do this. I'm an attorney, but you certainly don't need to be one to do this. You do need to know legal things, so I teach all those things. So if you're interested in that, I did a short video. It's probably 15 or 20 minutes called An Introduction to the Overages Business. And you can, again, see that right on YouTube. And if you look down below, you'll see a link to that video as well. And I think both businesses are great to do. I think buying at tax sale is terrific. Great way to get properties at bargain prices. And I think that the overages business is terrific. And the reason I think that is that you just make cash money and you help people get back money that they're otherwise not going to get. 70% of the time, this money is not given back to the former owners because they don't apply for it, because they have no idea the money exists. So really good way to get into business and make a lot of money and get a lot of property. So this is Attorney Bob Diamond. It's been nice being with you here today. Click on one of the links below and you can learn more about how to buy properly at the tax sale, as well as how to get those overages money and put cash in your pocket. Bob Diamond, over and out for now. See you next time.